Hello there, my name's Sean, also known as the Determinator. Right, today I'm going to do something a bit different. This is a post-game commentary, but what I'm going to do is, it's a best of 3 match, and I'm going to do the whole thing in one video. This might be a huge mistake, but I'm sort of hoping that most of the people that watch these videos are, like me, just an absolute Wingspan fanatic and just love playing and watching the game, in which case you're in the right place, and we'll have fun watching this entire best of 3 match, even if you aren't able to do it in one go. I hope you enjoy this format. It might be a mistake, but I don't care, because I don't make money from these videos, so this is purely for fun, so we're going to do it anyway. So, this match is a match in the Xenopsaris X-factor tournament. If you don't know what a Xenopsaris is, I didn't. I'm quite good at my birds of the world. I'd never heard one of those. It's a sort of a flycatcher from South America. It looks a bit like a blackcap if you're familiar with European birds. Anyway, that's a side note. This is, yes, a game in the Xenopsaris X-factor tournament of best of 3. So there. This is a best of 3 game in the Xenopsaris X-factor, as I said. And yeah, we are in second in this first game. We're against Cheese Dreams. Really tricky game to schedule this, because my opponent lives in Australia and obviously I'm in the UK, so it was a bit awkward, but we did manage to work it out. And yeah, it's definitely an interesting tray there. So we'll get into it straight into it very shortly. Yeah, this is the first round, of course, in this tournament. So yeah, it's a very interesting sort of a group scenario, except it is a sort of knockout best of 3. It's a weird format, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And we've got this first game here that's going to be very tough, but we'll see how we get on. We know that likely we're going to be up against an eagle at least. So let's have a look at our starting hand. And well, yeah, we've got a kill there, so obviously always very nice to see. Absolutely grabbed that immediately. But what else have we got here? Bonus cards, Food Web or Bird Bander, could go with either here. Obviously Killdeer meets Bird Bander. But obviously when you've got a Killdeer you need food access, because you've got card access, you need food access, you need something to do in this first round, get some food. But we don't have a bird that gives food. We've got the Hermit Thrush, but there's no cherries in the feeder, and obviously the brown powder's not very good. So what to do in this first round? I considered keeping it. I thought, well, there's a great crested flycatcher in the tray. I'm assuming my opponent's going to take the eagle, so I should have full access at that, so I've got to take that. And I was looking at the Foster's Turn here, because although you don't need card draw when you've got a Killdeer, what else do I do in this first round? Maybe it might actually be useful to draw a few cards, and maybe we find some more food access, something to go with this flycatcher, and it's a star nest. It might be useful for the last end of round as well. So I thought it might be worth keeping. I mean, I wasn't going to keep any of these other birds, so yeah, decided to keep the food for the flycatcher and the food for the turn, so that I can get those down. And that was my plan. So yeah, there's also something for this first end of round as well, the Force's Turn, that obviously if you have killed it normally you wouldn't bother with, but yeah, I thought it might be worth. And incredibly, my opponent did not take the eagle, and I was really confused. They actually top decked on their first go as well, which really confused me. They top decked and they didn't take the eagles. I thought, well, maybe they don't need the eagle, but actually the flycatcher was more important to me than the eagle, because I didn't have any food access. So I decided to take that, and I thought, well, if they don't want it, then maybe I can wait until I get this Foster's Turn down and then take it. But yeah, that really threw me at the start there. But we get the flycatcher down. Obviously there is a worm in the feeder that I could hopefully grab. Yeah, this juniper titmouse, definitely something I would look at here as a second forest bird. When you got the Killdeer, you want to secure your food access in this first round and build up a good food. Yeah, definitely so. And that titmouse, obviously you get points when you get food. So yeah, then my opponent played the hummingbird in the wetland, and I suddenly got wet feet at this point and thought, well, they've got a wetland bird down, so surely now they are going to pick up the eagle. If they didn't want it then, surely they'll get it when they've got a wetland bird down. So that's why I just took it then, just in case they were planning on taking it. But yeah, so what actually transpired was my opponent actually missed the eagle in the tray. They were playing on their phone and they completely missed it. So that is what that's what turned out actually happened, which is unfortunate for them. But yeah, we do get the turn down. Yeah, maybe a questionable play to play a wetland bird when you've got a kill deer, but I was definitely eager to maybe draw some cards, and find something to add to this turn. Obviously, yeah, that's definitely interesting, that titmouse, but why not try and do something for this end of round as well, and maybe draw some more cards as well as that titmouse that's in the tray, and maybe find something better. Maybe we find a food gaining bird for the grassland. So yeah, that was my thoughts here. So yeah, they're starting to use the hummingbird, and that's certainly very nice when you want to build up some food in this first round before getting the kill deer down. And fish not necessarily that useful, but it's still food. So yeah, now we get this titmouse, and I was looking at this Say's feed because I did end up, I didn't talk about it, but I did end up keeping Food Web Expert instead of Bird Bander. Yeah, I just thought, well, I saw that obviously that Say's Phoebe was in the tray at the start as well, so I thought, yeah, maybe it's worth going Food Web here. Obviously, kill deer, get to see loads of cards, so there's more chance of finding some Food Web birds. And the Phoebe, even though at the moment I've got a massive prospect of finding lots of bowl nests, it has that added value with the Food Web, so I just grab it. And yeah, still getting some food, so that's good. So yeah, near the end now, round one, they've got a nice wetlands going. Clark's Grebe hummingbird, and well in position to win the end of the round as well. If they egg lay twice, I'm not sure they did egg lay then, but we were looking for, obviously, unfortunately not to get a worm on the re-roll for the kill. Yeah, that's definitely what I was up to then. So that was a bit unfortunate, but I do have some decent food also already, and my opponent still has the hummingbird as their only food access, so reasonable chance of getting a bit more food. So yeah, I just decided, I could have just forced the kill down, but I decided just to grab the grain then to use for it, even though I couldn't get any worms. Yeah, I decided not to beat them around, and that's fine. And yeah, we're going to round two, going first. Nothing too interesting to tell, although I do like the Lesser Whitethroat. Yeah, it's a bird I do like using, and I definitely have my eye on that. But I decided let's get this this titmouse down, and then go for food. Obviously, gets the kill deer down a bit later, but I really want to secure my food access, and also thinking about this end of round as well. So yeah, my opponent had the fish crow, so that's very nice for them, and I was able to get the reroll and get the kill deer food, so that was nice. So yeah, my opponent went with double crow in the grassland, which is definitely something I've tried before and had mixed success with it, because you're hemorrhaging so many eggs when you use it to get food. But yeah, it's an interesting strategy. But actually, there's a similar issue for me here in that I've currently got nothing to pair with this kill deer, so every time I use it, I'm only getting one egg at a time. And it was for that reason, and until I can find something, for that reason I decided to pick the Whitethroat, because if I put it in the forest here, I can get some eggs at the end of the round, and that might help me accelerate and play birds and get even more eggs. So it's sort of unusual, because you know, when you're getting cards with the killdeer, you're getting eggs already, but it sort of worked here when I didn't have any support for it. In the tray, what did come up was the Swainson's Hawk, which I definitely would have liked to pair with this killdeer. I've done that it's a very good effect recently, but my opponent took it. But I was, with the Hummingbird, able to get the Lesser Whitethroat food immediately, which was a bit of luck. Yeah, and I was about to play the Whitethroat, but then I saw that an Astrated Flycatcher came up in the tray, and I've already got 3 cavity nests, so just like this says Phoebe, it could be nice for later laying some eggs, especially if I'm struggling with eggs with no support with this killdeer. So yeah, it's a slightly odd situation where you're getting eggs a lot, but actually you're only getting 1 egg a turn, so I was looking for birds that gave me eggs, sort of as if it was an Air Sando sort of scenario. Yeah, more food, and so I had some decisions here as to how I was going to play this. I think getting the Lesser Whitethroat down was definitely important, but I had a bit of food here, so I could decide what best strategy was. But yeah, if I get this Whitethroat down, I can get 3 eggs in the forest, and 3 birds in the forest, of course, basically securing this end of round as well, so that was important, having lost the first one. So yeah, it's a bit of a weird board at the moment, this sort of L shape, a built out forest, but nothing else to support the killdeer at the moment. But I've just not found anything really. I've not been drawing that much, obviously I've been doing other things, but just getting a bit more food for some of this stuff. Obviously I drew the Sandpiper, is the other thing that is in my hand. Or was it the Snipe? But the another bird which obviously meets the bonus card, so that could definitely be worth playing at some point. Yeah, we get a few eggs and win the end of the round. That's very nice, and yeah, we've got a few things in our hand that might help for this end of the round as well, even though we're behind at the moment. So this is where I was thinking, although I've only got 2 bowl nests, that actually maybe the Phoebe might be worth playing. And also, obviously playing these birds that lay eggs on other birds are in conflict a bit with the Lesser Whitethroat, so I thought it would be a good idea to play them sort of earlier on in the round to give me a chance to clear the eggs off for the Whitethroat activation. So that's why I played the Phoebe now. And yeah, can no problems get rid of that. Obviously, egg on the Phoebe to lay eggs in the grassland. That was sort of my thought for this round. I definitely wanted to put more buckbirds in the grassland. Maybe this eagle, maybe the flycatcher, but probably save that for the next round because of the issue I just alluded to with the Whitethroat. But yeah, if I was going to play this eagle, then I need to do some more drawing. I've hardly done any drawing really with this killdeer because I've been sort of concentrating on other things, but definitely need to start getting a few more cards together. And also got this Goshawk in my hand, which I could also play, but I decided to get the Sandpiper down. I had to force it down, but I was okay with that. Just for the end of round really, and obviously it's a 7-point bird for me. 7 points for 1 food is fantastic value, so that was always going to go down even though I'm not going to use the power. But yeah, very nice grass, and my opponent's got now. No longer hemorrhaging eggs as much as they were. But even so, you know, you're losing 2 eggs a time and getting 2 food. It's certainly not as good as a raven, for example, but it's still very strong. With those support acts in there now. I was looking at this Spanish Sparrow just to push out my grassland quicker, really. But then also noticed I've had this Downy Woodpecker, which would be another egg, of course, for my flycatcher. So, and it also could mean that I could build out this forest and get some more eggs on the forest and potentially get 5 eggs at the end of the round with the whitethroat. So that was my other thought. And of course I got this goshawk, which meets the end of round, and I just need to egg lay once or twice and I can get the cards with the killdeer to play that. I've already got the cherry that I can play the woodpecker with, so although my plans initially were to use the lesser whitethroat and something be out this grassland and use the whitethroat in the grassland, I decided to change tack and go for this forest double play and hopefully do something at the end of the round, although my opponent is still playing plenty of birds, so it might be tricky. But yeah, we got plenty of tucking fodder in that draw then. So I've played stuff like the gannet, obviously meets the end of the round. So yeah, we do this double play and can now unlocks 5 eggs for us in the forest. So this whitethroat has been doing excellent work in this game. 3 eggs in the second round, and now going to get 5 eggs, so it's already going to be an 8-point bird minus egg cost. I do love these, the whitethroat and the black rose star. Black rose star less because it's a bit more expensive, but the whitethroat, as lesser whitethroat's a very good bird here. Yeah, so my opponent did just sneak ahead in their end of round. They played the turkey, so yeah, they did just sneak me there, but that's fine. Unfortunately didn't quite have the cards, the food available to play the eagle, which I was hoping, but yeah, we was grabbing food really for the flycatcher is what I was thinking, to play that early on in the next round so I could clear the eggs off. But yeah, we get the lesser whitethroat activation and we get the end of round points. And yeah, I was looking forward to this next end of round. Got a few bowl nests, so maybe we can compete for that, but we go into this last round and there's definitely some stuff in the tray I was interested in, or definitely at least wanted to deny from my opponent. Had to think about where I was putting these eggs for the lesser whitethroat activation, but yeah, we've got the woodcock, which is definitely nice. So yeah, we've got what we do, just need to get some cards for this eagle as well. We've got that grey heron in that activation, which we can obviously get rid of, but I need to get some more. Yeah, so I think I had a dilemma here, because so my opponent played the bush tit, which sort of secured the end of round for them, and I had the dilemma here. I was going to play the asteroid flycatcher, then egg lay, and then get the egg cards and play the eagle. But then it suddenly occurred to me that the way that the eggs were going on, it would be very difficult for me to get them off for the lesser whitethroat, and also to, bear in mind the end of round goal as well, exit bowl nests. So yeah, I had to really think twice about how I was going to achieve this. So I get the eggs for the eagle now, and I worked out that the woodcock was the same number of points as the flycatcher. I know woodcock was the same number of points as the flycatcher, but it didn't give me any issues with the whitethroat and getting the eggs, having to clear the eggs off. So that's why I decided at the last minute to change my mind and to play the woodcock instead. So yeah, I was thinking definitely the whitethroat, the last lesser whitethroat activation would be in the grassland here. Yeah, I think you can see me just counting up these. But yeah, the other problem was that the without downing woodpecker was full and the forcer's turn was full, so that I couldn't clear the eggs off of both of those when I played the flycatcher. So I was thinking, well, maybe I could play the eagle first, and then play the flycatcher, but then I wouldn't be able to clear the eggs off the flycatcher. So that was the sort of corner I was into, because I put I wasn't thinking when I put the eggs down on that turn and the woodpecker. It was just that mistake I made, which meant I couldn't play the flycatcher. But it was fine. As I say, the woodcock was the same number of points, so I was fine to go with that as my last play. But yeah, I wasn't going to be able to fill up, obviously, the 6 VB before the end of the round because of the Lesser Whitethroat activation. Unfortunately, I had bowl nests in all 3 of my habitats, so I was never going to be able to do that if I wanted to use the Whitethroat. So. But then my opponent played the bush tit and got more bowl nest space anyway, so they were always going to win, so it didn't really matter too much. Yeah, I didn't do so well in finding food web expert birds, unfortunately. I was maybe not sure how I would have done. What was the other one? Bird Bander. Yeah, I would have only got 2 of those or 3 of those if I played the woodcock, so still wouldn't have. So food web's still better, just about, but yeah, I definitely didn't draw as many cards as you normally would with a kill dip, but just couldn't find. Just didn't have the support. Didn't have the support for it. Had to fumble around and get eggs in other ways, but. But yeah, look how strong this grassland is now. I was just checking their bowl nest space there to confirm that they had more, so definitely activating this Lesser Whitethroat was still going to be more points than trying to compete for any round. So yeah, Whitethroat's going to get 4 more eggs at the end of this round, so that's 4, 5 and 3 eggs it's given me. 12 eggs over the game, so 11 point Whitethroat, fantastic. And you played it in round 2 as well. So just egg laying on this last turn, making sure that I don't lay any on the grassland. And that was that. But yeah, lots of tucks. Particularly in my opponent's board, they definitely found the engine birds that I would have loved and didn't quite manage to get. But yeah, there we go. Yeah, so we did. So yeah, losing 3 of the 4 in the rounds is a bit tough. But we go into the scores here. I was thinking it was a good score. But yeah, I know my opponent had a very good grassland, so I wasn't sure. And only 4 bird points is not great, but they only got 6, so I thought we were in with a shout here. But yeah, it did come down in the end to the tucks that I knew my opponent was better on, so yeah, it was a loss in this first game, 98 to 92. So very well played for my opponent there. I'll see you in the next game. So here we go, into the second game, and of course I'm going first this time. That's how it works. You each go first in a game, and then if there's a third game, it's the person with the highest points difference who goes first. But we're going first in the second game, and look at this very interesting starting hand. We've got 2 potentially very good birds, the chiffchaff and the wood duck, obviously. Very easy bonus card choice. Wetland scientist over backyard bird. Well, obviously, if I'm going to play the wood duck, I don't really need the chiffchaff because I'm going to be getting cards with the wood duck. And but what was I going to put with it? Obviously, the chaffinch, which was functionally the same bird as the chiffchaff, but goes in the same habitat in the forest, but obviously has 1 more point, so I was going to pick that. And but there was no grains in the feeder. For this wood duck, to get this wood duck down, so I did think briefly about this hawfinch. I think, well, that gives me grains, so that might be useful, but obviously you need to get the grains in the first place to play the hawfinch, so that's false economy very much. So rejected that. So yeah, chaffinch and wood duck is what I decided to go for here. No egg access, which is something that I was definitely looking out for. But yeah, the chaffinch could be useful. Obviously, you might get some cards that you don't want, and you can get rid of them on the chaffinch. So that would be a decent second forest bird to go with it. I don't think there was anything too interesting in the tray. Although you'd note that the end of round goal is birds with tuck cards, which is really ideal if for me, if I've got this chaffinch, could potentially quite easily get, as long as I get it up quickly, I can get 2 without too much problem. But obviously in the tray there's Sparrowhawk, which may also come in handy for that. So here we go. So obviously the only way I was going to get this wood duck down was to just get any food and just force it down. That was the only option open to me really, without the grains being there, which is a bit of a pain, but it's okay. But yeah, my opponent obviously very much looking forward to this end of round goal, took the Sparrowhawk and revealed for me a chickadee, which I will absolutely grab here because it would be so valuable to work with this wood duck. A perfect second forest bird with the wood duck there. So yeah, I had to grab that before, even though I didn't have wood duck down yet. And yeah, just get that down straight away really. I could have got the wood duck straight down there, but I thought, well, I'll put the chickadee down and maybe my opponent will reset this feeder in the meantime while I'm egg laying onto it and so forth. And maybe I could get my grain, but obviously the other option here was to play the chaffinch first as well. And actually it's better to have the chaffinch after the wood duck, because obviously you're getting cards and then you can tuck them. It's better to have them that way around. So it was cutting things fine on the end of round to do that, but it's definitely better to have them that way. So this vote end of round, obviously not the end of the world, but if you don't get it. But obviously I knew my opponent had the Sparrowhawk, so they were definitely going to qualify for it. So I was about to just get the grain, but then, well, I may as well get the chaffinch down and get 2 food time, and yeah, that's the way I went. Yeah, if there was more time here, I would absolutely be grabbing some of that stuff in the tray. But we got the reroll then and got the 2 grains that we needed, which is perfect. And yeah, a couple of stuff in the tray I would definitely have thought think about taking, especially like a golden eagle. But there's just no time left in this round here if I'm to qualify for this end of round. Yeah, so they've got a very nice black woodpecker, getting the worms in their forest, and they've gone with the gannet again, just like the last game. But as their card draw this time. Yeah, obviously, I was very much aware that probably the sparrow was coming, so if I just have enough time here this last round to draw cards, and hoping they were rubbish, so I can tuck them both, and obviously because you've got no cards you don't have to discard anything, so you can get 2, and that was such a nice, definitely that casting sparrow that I drew I would have definitely have kept if it wasn't important for the end of round to get rid of it, because eggs is obviously the main problem I have now in the system, but I decided it was more valuable to tuck it and get the getting those 4 points, so that was very nice. Yeah, my opponent did play the sparrow, of course. Yeah. But as you can see in the tray, we've got the functionally the same bird as the Castor sparrow that I tucked, the grasshopper sparrow, which I was definitely hoping for. But of course, and I also had the aspirated flycatcher, just like we had in the last game. We've got it this time, another bird which could be really useful for getting me eggs. I've already got 2 cavity nests, so drew 1 for the deck. Obviously you have to discard 1, so I was going to pick up this flycatcher. But then I got the blue throat and I didn't really want to get rid of it, so I drew again and got the cuckoo, which also would have been really useful here. And I was faced with the decision of what do I get rid of, because the cuckoo would be useful for eggs, but a blue throat, I've got nothing for this end of round, and the blue throat could be useful for that. High scoring bird. It was a difficult decision, but I did get rid of the cuckoo. Obviously at that time there was no guarantee my opponent was going grasslands. So I did see they picked up the ferocious hawk in the last round, so they were obviously going to do some grassland stuff, but yeah, it's a tough one, that. So I had to go again to try and pick up one of these birds. My opponent took the grasshopper sparrow, so there goes that. So yes, this has but what they did come up in its place was the Barrow's Goldeneye, which actually is probably potentially even better than the sparrows. Only I'll get lots of cavity nests, but I did try to pick up this flycatcher again, and this time I did at least draw something that wasn't worth keeping, the kite, so that I could keep this flycatcher. Yeah, that's the big problem with the wood duck. Obviously, it's great to be able to get cards in the forest, but you're only able to keep 1 card at a time, and that can be really awkward sometimes. Say when you, as you've seen, when you draw 2 really good cards. But yeah, that Barrow's Goldeneye, if the opponent is going with the grassland, then yeah, that would be really valuable for me. I'm obviously picking up a lot of food here, but so yeah, I had to go with the draw something from the deck and hope that it's not that good, so that you can pick up this Goldeneye, and luckily it was not all that amazing, the Kestrel, so not sure why I was hesitating here. I mean, obviously the Goldeneye meets my bonus card as well, so doubly important. Yeah, I did think about yeah, just go for it. I can't remember why I hesitated then, what I was thinking about. I think maybe I wanted the Kestrel because it would have been another egg on the flycatcher, I don't know, but yeah, the Goldeneye is useful here, definitely. And we're now getting sort of towards the end of this round, and I've still not got anything for this end of round, so definitely this blue throat was a priority at this point, and I was about to put it down, and then my opponent revealed the Franklin skull, which obviously I don't need, but there's no way I can leave that there. It was sort of scuppering my plans a little, but because I was hoping to get the Goldeneye down quickly, and the aspirated flycatcher and the blue throat, I can get them all down this round, and then egg lay potentially, or actually maybe 2 of them and egg lay. No, I would have had time to do 3 of them, but yeah, obviously I had to get rid of that Franklin skull, so and I wasn't going to use it or this robin, so I could tuck them on this occasion. Tuck one of them. Yeah. So yeah, that turn denying meant that I couldn't get all 3 of these down and egg lay onto the blue throat in time, so I was reduced to only being able to do 2 of them. And obviously blue throat was most important, seeing as it's getting something for the end of the round. But I was about to play it, but actually, yeah, I think it's better to get the flycatcher down and then the blue throat, so that I can get 3 eggs at a time when I egg lay rather than just 2. Because I would have to put the blue throat down, egg lay to get them, then be able to play the flycatcher. So this way round is better, even though I would have more cavity nest later on with the flycatcher. But it's good for tempo to play it then. I didn't have any other egg access. My opponent did play that sparrow. They've got started with good grass, and obviously helps them at the end of the round. They're going to win the end of the round as well because they've got the gannet as well. And they found the ruff as well. A very good bird, and definitely secured their end of round victory there, although they didn't lay into it, I don't think, no. Yeah, and I could use the blue throat. I didn't really need to use the blue throat because I had such good food access, but I thought it would just help here just to grab a food to get this gold die down straight away in the next round, hopefully, without forcing it down too much. And yeah, third round, and we get a goldfinch, which I would definitely interested in, or at least interested in denying from my opponent. And I thought this peregrine, another good grassland engine bird, and decided to deny that from my opponent as well. Up comes a couple of very nice things. My opponent might be looking at that swallow. They used it in the last round, in the last game, and maybe they might use it again here. They only tucked one card on the ruff, so they obviously had some good stuff they didn't want to tuck. Definitely a problem I have with the ruff sometimes, and you just don't have enough cards to get rid of. But yeah, they did take the swallow, and I'm still I was very keen to get that bald eagle on the tray, seeing as it obviously meets my bonus card and a big white bird. So so yeah, pick that up, and again delaying delaying getting these pink powers down, the goldfinch and the golden eye, particularly the golden eye. I've been meaning to get it down for ages, but just not had the opportunity to. Egg access still my issue, really. Yeah, obviously no obvious sign they're going to be tucking yet, although they did pick up that swallow, of course, so I need to be ready to put that goldfinch down as soon as possible. Well, as soon as they play that swallow, anyway, so, but yeah, I do finally get the golden eye down, so that's nice. Got a bit of an accidental behaviourist going on here, but and I wasn't going to play the eagle. I was going to play the goldfinch, or maybe go for cards on that turn, but then I noticed that there were two fish in the tray, so actually it's advantageous here to play the eagle here first, so I can get these fish. And actually it would give me, although I had to force it down, it would give me the food to play the goldfinch straight away, so it's a nice little tempo thing there. I could have just got the food and the feeder to play them both, but I think I was probably playing this goldfinch in the grassland to get me more eggs, but actually for the end of the round I thought I'd secure it by playing it in the forest. My opponent did have two, so they could easily have drawn at least, or I think maybe they had double birds, so yeah, I could get it in the forest, and it just pushes it out, means I can get free food now a turn, which is really useful. Potentially, because we're looking for those big point birds, those big 3 food cost birds, so get free food is really important. And look at that chickadee doing great work. 8 caches already a 10-point bird. And yeah, we're getting. I did get that golden eye down just before they needed to lay eggs, so that was quite handy. They paid the green heron. I'm not quite sure what that was for, but maybe for a bonus card. But yeah, we can do a bit more, and we are looking for wetland birds for this wetland scientist, and we get 2 amazing ones that I had to choose between, which is again a bit unfortunate. Getting a bit late in this game now. We need to get these wetland birds down. We've been doing this bonus card. I decided on the ibis for a few reasons. I mean, obviously not as great in that you get a bonus card, but yeah, you're only getting 1 bonus card. It's not that guaranteed. With the ibis, obviously 1 extra point, and it had a platform nest for this last end of round. I only had one currently with the bald eagle, so I did need more for that. So that's why I chose the ibis over the knot then. And the other reason was that I had the food for it as well, and the knot I didn't. I would have to force it, so I'll go for food first. So they're the three reasons really why I picked the ibis over the knot then. We go into the last round here. I do win that end of round, and yeah, we've got a couple of cheap and easy wetland scientist birds in the tray. Obviously I couldn't pick them both up at once. I mean, I could have used the wetland I suppose, but yeah, that was a bit of a pain. But yeah, looking back on this, I suppose I could use the wetland, but I wonder if I had enough time. I mean, obviously them being cheap, I suppose I would easily be able to get the food for them in like just one food activation here, but I don't know, it was getting a bit late to be able to max this scientist out really. I did decide to pick, well, one of them up at least, in the hope that I would be able to get the other one as well, but it was a bit late at this point to be doing that, but I definitely need to get this ibis down 100%, that's for sure. My opponent's still pretty much beating me on the stick nest even with this ibis, but another reason why I may be thinking of playing this turn, but obviously this egg laying action is so poor. Only getting 4 eggs a turn, it's a bit awkward really. But yeah, not really finding, I mean we're not doing that much drawing, but we're not finding that many amazing big point birds that we want to at this stage. And yeah, just not finding any bonus card birds or anything like that. So I didn't think the game was going amazingly. Obviously it's always great when you got a wood duck and you can get birds like the bald eagle down quite easily, but we did draw at least the starling, which I would have liked to have seen earlier, but actually it could still be useful here. It's still, if I can max it out, it's still an 8-point bird. So yeah, I did sort of give up on the wetland scientist now. It wasn't going to happen, it was too late. So yeah, which one of these do I keep? The snowy owl could be useful. Could I use it to lay an egg in some way on a cavity nest? Would that save me a turn laying eggs onto there? And I was trying to think, you know, could it potentially give me a bonus card better than points on the starling, but bit of a risk really. Could I have used it to pick up the willet and play it, but no, obviously I'll get rid of the black turn. I'm not doing the wet scientist now, so yeah, a bit weak, but at the end I just thought that the starling, I may as well just play the starling for the 8 points. I've got loads of food to get rid of. Just obviously needed the egg lay in that one of these last turns for the end of round. Yeah, my opponent just had a few more nest spaces on those platforms, but yeah, just play the starling here, and then I was just gonna egg lay on the last turn. You lose a food for another egg, and then obviously get all the tucks on the starling, and then I would have used up all my cards and all my food, even though I've been using the wood duck. So that would definitely be a nice efficient game if we could do that. And yeah, still getting a few golden eggs, which is nice, and the goldfinch only got 1 tuck in the end. But still, pink power is still very useful in a game like this, and yeah, we finish off with a reasonable board in the end. Look at all those caches on the chickadee, so nice. 13-point chickadee. was really worth grabbing at the start, even though I had no other card draw at the time. And yeah, we get rid of all that food, so we do lose the end of round, so we draw those all together, and yeah, I mean, I was not sure what to think about this, because I didn't think it was the most amazing wood duck game ever, but I did have a wood duck. And I was able to get some high point birds down, but yeah, bonus cards again weak, just like the last game actually for both of us. But yeah, look at all those caches coming up, and the tucks. And it was a reasonably comfortable win actually, 97 to 83, but you know, I'd say it didn't feel like amazing, but it was enough. So yeah, we have got a deciding game for you, and I'll come back for that shortly. Okay, here we are for the deciding game, and of course I scored better over the 2 games, so I get to go first, and we get immediately what I love to see in a starting hand, a full tuck scenario, potentially with the mute swan and the mockingbird. Not much else to go for, but obviously these two such heavyweights for a nice wetland engine. So food access obviously a problem, no food access really to speak of, and I've got 5 food cost birds to get down. I've only got 3 food, so that's a little bit awkward, but nothing in the tray worth considering. Grabbed Ethologist bonus card as well, which I obviously knew would be decent for a wetland, a full tuck, because you're guaranteed 2 points from it at least. So, but yeah, the end of round goal is not looking so hot for a full tuck. We've got very egg heavy EORs, which is a bit of a nuisance, but wasn't going to deter me from what I know is such a potentially strong system here. Yeah, see how it goes. So yeah, all I could do now was to just get food twice to get these down. Obviously, because the mute swan uses any food, I only needed to grab a worm. That was the only food I definitely needed. I could grab anything the second time and be able to get these 2 down. Grab that second food. Our opponent top decked again, just like they did in the first game, which confused me. I know some people are very, very against top decking and wouldn't do it in almost any circumstances. But yeah, it did seem odd. I do sometimes do it, but I'm assuming they were just hoping to get lucky. But they did find a blue throw. I don't know if they found that from top decking or if they had that from the start. But when you see, obviously, when I'm going full tuck, I'd love to see a food giving bird. That's definitely very nice for me here, with literally no food access whatsoever. So yeah, we're already getting food from it, and that food could be very valuable to me here, setting up this full tuck. And yeah, mock her down, and we've got potential to copy the mute swan power. Getting 2 cards, tucking 2, and then maybe be able to tuck that other one that we drew back again. So potentially 3 points a turn if the cards are no good already. And my opponent found the swallow, which is sort of thing I'm looking for, but I found my own swallow, so that was fine. Obviously I didn't want to tuck that, so I could only tuck 1 here. And yeah, again, just getting the 1, but that's fine. Just lose out on 1 point there. But it would be useful to have to get this swallow down for sure. And yeah, be able to tuck and draw with that. And so I'm only drawing 2 cards, so I can't tuck 3 but with this one. But definitely start of an excellent full tuck. I could have waited here to see if the blue throat gave me the food for the swallow, I could have just done a bit more tucking, but I decided that I'd rather just get it down as soon as possible. So I grabbed the worm there from the feeder. So yeah, the game glitches out a bit there. We can get our swallow down. Oh yeah, I didn't see that. The goldfinch came up in the tray, and I could absolutely not allow my opponent to get the goldfinch. So I had to grab that, and I also got a nightingale. So there's our food access, and very happy that my opponent didn't have the goldfinch, because that would be getting an activation every turn for them if they had it. So, and then my health is end around, and well, we sort of a fair. This was an awkward situation for my opponent here, because I flipped up the eagle, and they had to decide whether they wanted to pick up the eagle or win the end of round. That was their decision, because they needed to egg lay for the end of round. Obviously, I didn't have anything for that, so they had to choose between getting the 4 points in a round or picking up the eagle. And it's definitely a decision that I would have hated to have had. A really horrible decision. They did decide to take the eagle. I have to say, I think I probably would have just left the eagle. I probably would have just egg laid then for the end of round, but I can totally understand taking the eagle. It was a horrible situation to be in there. And the next round, and they get the fish crow again, just like they had in an earlier game. So they'll be happy with that. But boy, yeah, that decision for them in that last round was a tough one. What you've got to think is getting the eagle worth 4 points is going to be worth 4 points later on over sort of the other stuff that you're going to find. That's sort of the thought is going to go through your head, I suppose. But hey, well, you can't possibly know, really, can you? But maybe you find the other eagle. Maybe it doesn't matter, but I don't know. Yeah, it's a tough one. But yeah, I guess so. Obviously, I had this nightingale, so I had to get that down first before putting the swallow down. Get the food for the swallow with the nightingale here. Obviously, giving my opponent food, but they had a blue throat as well, so the food is going to be flying here a little bit, which is going to be great for me, really. Yeah, so obviously I had to egg lay, because this is an odd sort of full tuck situation here, because I don't have any egg access whatsoever, no egg tuck and lays or anything like that, so I had to egg lay in order to play this swallow, so I thought I would do it then, and delay it, just in case my opponent gave me the other worm, and they did, so that was really handy, a little bit of delay there, and yeah, I just get the swallow down, and they've obviously found some good stuff to add to this grassland with the blue throat, and looking very good for the end of round. I'm at the moment not competing for it, but blue throat, lots of egg spaces. But yeah, they get their fish crow down, so they get 2 food now in the grassland, and we start some more tucking, and now we're getting 1, 2, potentially 4 points, 5 points with the mock. So 5 points now in this wetlands. Yeah, and I was starting to think this obviously goldfinch would be really good for me, because they are now tucking. They've got swallow for themselves. So yeah, getting this goldfinch down will also be good for my bonus card. Obviously, ethologist if I end up playing other stuff in the grassland, and if I can get it down this turn, the goldfinch, then I could actually qualify for the end of round. It is only 2 points, but if I'm going to play something else into this 5th slot in the wetlands, then I'm going to have to egg lay anyway at some point, so I may as well get 2 points at the end of round from it. So that was my thinking here. That's why I copied the nightingale, just to be able to get this food quicker for the goldfinch. Also picked up the savannah sparrow here, which again could potentially be useful for my ethologist in the grassland. So yeah, my opponent did give a 1 food there, fish, so I was trying to think, do I want to just force this goldfish down, or do I want to give cards again and get the right food and not waste food? But I don't know, it's a difficult decision. I think I thought food wouldn't be too hard to come by here. Obviously I have my Nightingale, I can get food, so I don't think forcing that down and using the fish is necessarily waste. I'm probably not going to use those fish for anything necessarily. I've only got one slot left in this wetland, but I don't know, that might be a mistake, as we see later. But we yeah, do get the goldfish down, and at the moment it's still only the barn swallow they've got that's tucking, but I can still get some points on that. They played the wood stork as a second wetland bird. And yeah, I do decide to egg lay for the end of round. I did put one egg into the wetlands here just in case it becomes useful for the next end of round. But obviously there's a good chance I might play something before that anyway, but you never know, it might be useful, so. So yeah, as I say, probably playing something into this fish slot into the wetlands, so I do need to egg lay anyway, even though that egg laying for the end of round was basically only 4 points and drawing cards is 5 points. But look, we do get probably one of the things that would have been top of my list for the fifth slot in this wetland. We do get an Orderwind Skull, and my opponent did give fish again, so we only need one fish to be able to get this down. Well, it doesn't matter what the other food was, but I knew they had been getting lots of fish, so fish may be not as valuable to them as other things. I did decide to keep the Swift just in case I wanted to play it for Mythologist, and the Grassland would be very easy to play with the Savannah Sparrow. I just need 2 food to do a double play and get some Mythologist points, but so I thought I'd keep it around. Obviously I could just tuck it later if not, but and then it's sort of better brother, more useful brother, the Starling comes up in the trade, which I could take instead. But yeah, I was just looking to see what they had, if any of those things in the trade were worth denying or things like that, so things that are going through my mind. But yeah, we just need to get this Orderwind Skull now. It's such a strong hunter. We get 1 point with Orderwind Skull, we can copy it with the Mockingbird, so we get 2, and then Swallow 3, and then we mute this one, we get 3, so we get 6 points in the wetland, and then yeah, build up a few cards, and yeah, in the future maybe I could think about copying the Mute Swan and get even more points. So even though it's an odd full tuck in that it doesn't have any eggs at all involved in it, it's still pretty strong. I did pick up that Starling just in case I wanted to play it, and yeah, little busts that might be useful for laying an egg, who knows, for this end of round, although I've seen you have to lay eggs first to play it, so it's a bit pointless. But yeah, so what do I do here? What do I want to play? What do I want to... Do I need to get any food here? Is there any really urgency to play any birds? Well, I didn't have any tuck and lays, there wasn't really, because I didn't have eggs that I needed to clear off or anything. But yeah, copy the Orderwind Skull at this point, get some more cards built up. And yeah, get rid of some of this unnecessary stuff, and we're away really in this full tuck, and yeah, feeling good about it. You know, opponents still playing, so the big point wetland birds, they played the Woodstalk and now they played the Night Heron, which is interesting. That's why they were getting all those fish. But yeah, you do draw, and I get a Goldfinch activation, so that's quite good. So now their wetland is 0 points, which is not great for them. But now is when I decide if I'm going to egg lay for this end around. I might as well do it now, why not? Yeah, to think about it, I mean, obviously it's 3 points now for coming second in the end of round, so it's really only 5 points this play over the 6 points I get from wetlands, so I'm not sure if it's worth it, but I did sort of think about, I do want to get some more Mythologist points. Maybe wasn't worth it, but if I could do Savannah Sparrow into Swift, then that's obviously 4 points just from the bonus card, and then 5 5, so that's a 9-point play to do that. I obviously would have to egg lay to do it in the first place. So it adds up as being more than drawing cards twice at the moment. But I've also had this, this busted in my hand that I could use to lay an egg as well. That might be useful, but then my Order's goal gave me the Lesser Whitethroat, and we saw I had a good game with that a couple of games ago. But could it be useful here? It could be useful in this scenario. As I say, normally in the wetland full type you've got some eggs in there and it wouldn't be any use, but in this scenario I've got no eggs in there apart from those 2 that I just laid. So what if I do the double play Savannah Sparrow into Lesser Whitethroat to get Ethologist points and be able to lay eggs in the wetlands, 5 eggs for the end of round. I thought that might be worth it here, so that's why I grabbed Cherry. Only 2 turns left of the round, but yeah, I only need to get 1 worm and then I can play that in the last round and get, yeah, potentially 5 eggs, and then obviously while I'm not getting any more eggs as well, I could then use it to lay onto the grassland in the last round as well, so this Whitethroat could be really good. Potentially. So here we go. Doing a bit more tucking, and I think it's at this point that I realise that I can probably copy this Mute Swan. I think I did make a mistake in that I did it, I think it was probably 1 or 2 turns too late copying the Mute Swan. I probably could have copied it, yeah, as I say, probably the last turn, maybe the turn before that, and basically got 3 extra points from each time, so that was a bit of a mistake for me. I eventually realised that I wasn't actually losing any cards when I copied the Mute Swan, because I'm getting obviously 3 and then 4 with the Order Skull, tucking 3 but then getting 1 back, but then I'm tucking 3 and getting 1 back, so I'm not actually gaining or losing any cards. So actually I could have copied it, yeah, quite a bit, at least 2 turns earlier, but that's alright. My opponent did play their Eagle that they picked up obviously in the first round, and now they're playing Spotted Owl, so they're definitely going for the big point birds and the big bonus card birds. Looking very nice indeed, handy for them. Benefiting a little bit from my Nightingale food as well, of course. That, speaking of which, I now use to do this double play that I was really excited about. So yeah, that was definitely worth doing, because it's quite a lot more points than drawing cards, even with copying the Mute Swan now. I did work it out how many it was, I can't remember now, but it's sort of 4 points for the Ethologist. The actual play is 0 points, because Savannah Sparrow is 2 points, and Lesser White is nothing, but so it's 4 points for Ethologist, 5 points for the eggs, and then 3 eggs in the next round as well, and for the end of round. It adds up to quite a lot more than 8 points, so while I already had those eggs there from earlier. And yeah, so we do this play, and my opponent actually made a mistake here. He didn't realise that I'd played the Lesser Whitethroat. He was actually commuting to work at the time on his mobile, and he got distracted and didn't realise that I played the Lesser Whitethroat and messed up and didn't lay enough eggs in the wetlands. So it's unfortunate. It's sort of a mistake I make. You may have noticed that the way I play is I'm not that massively intent on what my opponent's doing, and I do tend to miss things like that and miss the tray and stuff like this. So I totally sympathise with a mistake like that. But that makes this Whitethroat even more valuable to me now for an end of round win. So well, what cracking Whitethroat that was, and yeah, we're going to the last round, and basically now, obviously drawing for me is 8 points, so there's very little that I could find that would lead me to do anything other than draw here. Obviously the Thucknut Benelli's Eagle would be. I was also thinking, is there a brown power for this grassland that I could play that would be worth more than 8 points with the Ethologist? And I think I worked out that the bird would have to be worth 8 points for it to be worth more than drawing cards to play it. Because not just the value of the bird, obviously you've got Pathologist, and also I get an extra egg from the Lesser Whitethroat at the end of the turn, so with that added up it had to be at least 8 points, so I had to think about Golden Eagle or White Stork, something like that. But then also I would be giving out food to my opponent to do that as well, so is that worth it? You know, just for doing a term that might only be 1 point more than drawing cards, so it was unlikely that I was going to find some of that. It was really only Benelli's Eagle that would be worth playing here. So, but I was looking at this Chaffinch. I had picked up this Chaffinch a while ago, and I was thinking, could I play that in the grassland and then egg lay, like, I don't know, put it in the grassland with 3 turns left and then egg lay twice? Would that be more than drawing cards? But actually I don't think I quite had enough cards for it to be worth it. Obviously it would be 8 points and a full activation. Obviously I get Pathologist points, and then 8 points for 4 eggs and 4 tucks. So it would be more, but then on the last turn I wouldn't have enough cards to mean that it would be worth more than drawing cards. So I decided against doing that. We'll just draw cards a few more times, get a few more Goldfinch tucks. Obviously I got a Goldfinch tuck for the Eagle activation, and they also played the Goshawk again as well. The Goshawk has been in all 3 of these games, so we get a tuck from that as well, so that's been a nice defence for me as Goldfinch. So delighted my opponent didn't get that, because that would be have a ridiculous number of tucks on it by now. But here, yeah, we continue to tuck really, and just continue to Benelli's Eagle dig, basically. No point using the Nightingale while we didn't have anything to play. Still copying the Mute Swan, and still feeling annoyed that I didn't notice earlier that I could copy the Mute Swan, but that's fine. But yeah, Mutes were these 2 birds I had in my starting hand. Mute Swan and Mockingbird, it's such an incredible combination. As long as you find that support for them in order to be able to draw that many cards, it's just, yeah. Oh yeah, it's definitely the first time I think I've had a full tuck with like no egg access whatsoever, and you're still able to get 8 points from it. It's a bit ridiculous. So yeah, this is where I was doing the calculations with the Chaffinch and trying to decide whether it was worth. Also had the Snow Bunting in my hand that I drew a few turns ago as well that I was thinking about playing, but so they obviously weren't tucking that much, so it wouldn't be worth it, especially as it doesn't meet any Pathologist points. So yeah, I decided the Chaffinch wasn't worth it. Just continue to add to my very substantial flocks here under these birds, and happy to see that birds like the Whooping Crane that my opponent doesn't have as well. So yeah, my opponent's still grabbing food, so they're still looking to play some stuff. I did consider about the Starling I had in my hand as well. Just if they did give me loads of food, then maybe that would have been worth it, but that wouldn't have been anywhere near enough points. So yeah, I was desperately looking for I was desperately looking for options. That didn't mean I had to just draw cards again. It seemed a bit boring, but there really wasn't. It was such a strong wetland that there was nothing to do here other than yeah, draw. Obviously I didn't need to worry about this end of round as well, because I had the Savannah Sparrow, which qualified me for that, so that's quite nice. Didn't have to think about that. Quite happy just to qualify for it. So yeah, last turn here. Guess what? We're drawing. Franklin Skull comes up. Get rid of all this stuff in quick time. And yeah, we don't find the Benellis, but I'm not too upset about that. We get the Chiff Jeff on the last turn, which is quite funny. But yeah, we did get these 3 eggs from the Whitethroat, so the Whitethroat was, again, fantastic. 8 eggs from that. Having only played it in the second last turn, and second last round rather. And yeah, we're going to the scores, and yeah, we knew we were going to be way behind on some of these other things. My opponent absolutely rotting ahead here. End of rounds come in, they're going to be way ahead on that. I did win that one, of course, so... but yeah, I was a bit worried at this point. Look how far behind I am. They had a few tucks, and oof, they just got 113, which is a brilliant score. But yeah, I had almost 80 tucks, and that's what brought it back for me, and yeah, won me the tie. So that was such a... I really enjoyed these games. I'm not sure why, they just felt very natural, and they flowed very nicely. But yeah, that was it. Thank you very much for watching this marathon video. Well done for getting the end, and I'll see you next time.